This is Jiangxi province. Fuzhou's criminal case has caused a sensation in the city, an evil godhead. Just because the woman you love the most doesn't run away with you, take out your anger on the taxi driver. Killer. Knife deadly. Time August 14, 2014. This morning in Fuzhou City, Jiangxi province, Fuzhou Public Security Bureau Linchuan branch received an alarm call. Crowds found a man lying on the road. Not moving at all. There is a lot of blood flowing by my side, and we wondered. This kind of traffic hit and run. The one after hitting the person. The driver fled. Because of his. The location is on the side of the road, on the curb. Soon the police arrived at the scene without the internet. Police investigators' preliminary investigation found the deceased had multiple stab wounds in the police department, cause of death force severed cervical artery, causing excessive blood loss. The deceased was dressed neatly, wearing a pair of white socks on his feet, and there are 2 shoes next to it. A wallet was found in the victim's trouser pocket. It contained 700 yuan and ID documents. A cell phone was found in the grass next to it. The roadside 100 meters from the crime scene found a leather shoe and a fruit knife. The blood on the knife was identified as belonging to the deceased, and this leather shoe, most likely it was left behind by the killer as he fled. What about the shoes? Appear in that place. We also think it is unreasonable because there was no one else there. Right, we think this shoe. It could also be this. Suspect left behind in the mobile phone address book left at the scene. Police found a note wife's phone number. Finally confirmed the identity of the deceased. The deceased's name was Li Jun. I'm a taxi driver. It's the night shift. But the car is gone. Both the phone and the wallet are there. Basically, murder can be ruled out. Manual knife deadly. It's like a vendetta. And then the police are divided into 2 groups. All the way to the taxi company. Check the driver's criminal track. Another way to investigate the social connections of the deceased. Just at this moment, a city sanitation worker is on a remote road. We found a taxi. Your step. I step on this. Hey, I have learned it from my family online. 1 meal, my heart is scattered across the road if I don't want it. I didn't bring my phone. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. I teach a boy to jump. You teach him, the man will call you jumper. What time? Touch your legs directly. Touch your legs directly. Okay, it's still crying. Where this taxi was abandoned. Just a few kilometers away from the victim's body. When the police approached the taxi, a strong smell of blood came over. The puzzle is, the scout found no signs of a fight in the car. Why didn't the driver resist? Or was it controlled at the time? There is a lot of blood splattered on the co-pilot's position. What kind of evil god is it? So brutally murdered a taxi driver. By visiting Li Chun's honesty, he had driven a train before. I just switched to renting 3 months ago. Usually kind. Never blushed with anyone, let alone any enemies. After the incident, fear spread throughout the entire taxi industry in Fuzhou. The chairperson of the industry issued a special notice on this. Ask all drivers to be vigilant, especially cabs that run far at night. What happened after this case? At that time, there was a great response in the entire auxiliary, especially the first few taxi drivers. This direction is huge. Yes, we assist the entire urban area of the city. More than 800 taxis. Publicize. Hope you pay attention to your own sense of security. Have a sense of prevention. By Li Chun's driving track that night, the police retrieved the corresponding video and found it. First in the morning, after 38 minutes he stayed for 9 minutes. It should be at that point that he was killed. That night, his taxi drove to Fuzhou railway station, came back a few minutes later. According to the survey, there were no cars entering or leaving the train station after 1 o'clock that night. The station has few passengers, so when Li Jun drove to the train station, The suspect should already be in the car. Upon arrival at the station, the suspect did not get out of the car. Instead, Li Chun's car source road return killed him on the way back. In fact, his knife wound. It's all about stabbing the neck. We doubt this. We still think this suspect should be talking to this messenger. Do you have a grudge or some other relationship? Just his knife wound. Treatment is fatal. So we were still thinking, what kind of risk is this? Under such a heavy hand, went back and forth a few times. That's it. Right, why are the roads complete? And why would he do that? Right, what if it's where to go? Then we suspect, is this suspect local? Did someone else hire someone from out of town? Are there any conflicts and disputes with foreigners outside? Chase like that, kill him like this? We didn't know that either. The police promptly. The investigation of the victim's social connections has been strengthened. Soon the investigation found that Li Chun's father-in-law was killed some time ago. It was dealt with by the public security for fraud. His father-in-law used to be the renowned real estate developer in the state. A year ago, in order to make up for the rupture of the capital chain, he sold a suite to 5 or 6 families. A total of 103 families were defrauded. The amount involved exceeds 17 million yuan. Some families are cheated into bankruptcy. Therefore, the police suspected, although Mr. Li Jun has already interviewed Ren Ji inside, but someone will take revenge on Li Jun. Investigate based on this lead. The staff went almost everywhere, all towns around the state. Nothing came out of it. The case is deadlocked. Suddenly, police think about the victim's driving trajectory. Conduct a reverse investigation. Final discovery. The taxi stopped in Central Garden for 30 seconds that night. This is most likely the incident in which the suspect got into the car. Monitoring display. Li Chun's taxi is indeed drive towards Central Garden community. Is it a person in the car or a car with 2 people? Took something to get in the car. Are you familiar with this evader? We don't know. Just then, a message came from the police station. Around 12 a.m., a woman from Central Garden called the police. He was stabbed by a man. After inquiry, the police learned that the man who stabbed the woman, wearing a pair of brown leather shoes with mesh. The man who stabbed the woman happened to be the same. Wearing one, brown with mesh. Leather shoes for knees, this kind of leather shoes. Fewer people are wearing it. Then dirty jeans. It's very contrasting. Looking back now, I feel very similar to the man's name is Jiangxi. From Anhui, he was dealt with by the police for theft. Then the suspect who killed Li Jun. Could it be the thief? So the task force found Huang. He said that when he was working in Zhejiang a few months ago, met Jiangxi. After several contacts, they have a crush on each other. Jiangxi often invites him to dinner. Give him something. Huang felt that his husband was not around anyway. You are far away. Some people ask for warmth. Why not? But he didn't tell Jiangxi. He's married. He has kids. I just want to find a man to amuse myself. I'm married and he doesn't know up. I get along with him. Just a little thought. Save a friend's relationship. However, Jiangxi does not think so. He quickly proposed the idea of marriage to Huang. Once Jiangxi said he would take him on a trip. But in the end, he brought Huang back to his hometown in Anhui, met his parents. Jiangxi's parents also gave Huang a big red envelope. At this time, Huang panicked. I just want your body. You want my heart. After coming back, Huang secretly ran back to Fuzhou and changed his mobile phone number. I am afraid that Jiangxi will continue to entangle. No one thought. Once Jiangxi came directly to Huangmu community, shouting his name downstairs. For fear of being exposed, Huang decisively chose to call the police. After being persuaded by the police station, they reached a verbal agreement. After 12 o'clock on the night of the crime, the police station received an alarm from Huang again, claiming to have been stabbed by Jiangxi. I sleep alone at home. Just lay down to sleep. I seem to hear a sound outside. I get up. When I see him, he looks more fierce. And then, holding a knife in hand. He said you won't come with me. He just killed me with a knife. At this time, Huang shouted desperately. The husband downstairs came. When Deng Sheng saw that he couldn't do anything, he ran away. At that time, Che Jinsing should be from the guardrail on this side, climbed up with his bare hands, because Che Jinsing has a countdown history, possessing a certain climbing ability. In the process, Che Jinsing smashed the glass of a car. According to the owner, a knife was missing from his car. Therefore, the investigators immediately gave him the knife left at the scene. It was confirmed that it was his missing knife. When the police found Huang again, his chat history was confirmed by the police. Che Dongsheng is the murderer. This man is. Around 2 a.m. that day, I sent him several WeChat messages. That's what he said. I killed someone. All for you. Look, I still want to see you. Next, let Huang reply. Che Dongsheng's message stabilizes his emotions. Ask where he is. You can also meet him. Seeing that the person you love is finally willing to meet you, Che Dongsheng replied immediately and he told me. He walked for hours from downtown. And now in a town. He said on WeChat that he was injured, and then I get in a clinic. After obtaining this information, investigators located the suspect. He runs, he chases, he can't fly. Finally, in the small clinic, arrest Che Dongsheng, who was being dripped, and bring him to justice. Interrogation force. Che Dongsheng confessed to his crime. Will not. It's still the girl washing her hair, right? He owes me money. You just lied to me and shouldn't pay me back, right? Well, instead of confessing the night of the crime, the more he thought about it, the angrier Che was. Bring a knife to find Huang. When injuring them, discovered by his husband, drop the fruit knife and jump off the building to escape. After escaping the community, he wants to take a taxi to the train station to escape Fuzhou. But when he arrived at the station, when he found that the train station had run out of trains. No train station. No trains. No trains. I'll ask him to take me back. Go back. Go where you are. On the way, he got into a fight with the driver over the fare. This moment, Che Dongsheng, who has been carried away by love. Spill all your anger on Li Jun. It's so wrong. December 3rd, 2015. Che Dongsheng was charged with intentional homicide, sentenced to death by the Higher People's Court of Jiangxi Province, deferred implementation for 2 years.